welcome to PGurus. I'm your host JK. So 2024 is not far. I guess we are already in the election festival mode. People have started campaigning one way or the other. So it is just nearby. So next May we're gonna have election in India, Bharat rather. So the big question everyone have in their mind is where is Modi ji gonna contest from? And people have already, in fact, there is a Inmakar Padayatra happening in Tamil Nadu. There are suggestions that he might choose Ramanathapuram down south, but then someone has some other idea. Let's hear him out rather. We are happy to welcome once again Mr. Banuchandar Nagarajan, political analyst and public policy advisor. Let's have him.
Hello, JK.
Namaskaram, Swamin.
Namaskaram.
Good to have you again. So,
thank you.
So I guess people were expecting Varanasi because he won from there last time, and he is kind of he has built the infrastructure there. People love him there. I guess you might get 100% vote from Varanasi if one have to just extrapolate it any further. But and then there are suggestions that he might choose something from South because South BJP do not have much to boast about except Karnataka. Telangana, there is some favorable seats, and Andhra, absolutely no sound. Kerala, they might have forgotten it, right? They might have forgotten that Kerala is the state of Bharat itself. Tamil Nadu, after K. Annamalai, there's a lot of fervor. People believe the NDA alliance might win more, and especially BJP can open their account, though they had won earlier too, but since 2014, since BJP in government, hopefully they might feel that BJP Tamil Nadu can bring something on the table. And they believe that Ramanathapuram is a favorable seat for Modi ji to contest from. But you have other ideas, and I found it weird. But let's hear you out rather.
Sure. See, JK, first of all, what we're doing is an analysis, right? And this sort of analysis is absent these days in the media for a few reasons. One is obviously like elections are a bit far away. Second is Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah, they're so politically brilliant that the strategies that they make and the choices that they make make sense to people only after they have been enacted, right? So, for example, when Modi ji contested Varanasi, everybody felt wow, but till before that, people did not have a clue, right? So what has happened so far is even with analysts, what they are doing now is it's so hard to predict what Modi and Shah are going to do. So why not even predict? Okay, so they have become very lazy. So that is one of the reasons also that why analysis of this kind is becoming rarer. Okay, but nevertheless, I think as citizens, we should actually sort of look at the trends or whatever we see in the media and whatever we hear speaking to people and put it out to the public and to have a healthy discussion. So this is that sort of a discussion, right? And they say that a week is a long time in politics. We have many months now, probably like 6-7 months to go before we have the first phase of elections. So this is an ongoing analysis. We'll have many more such discussions, but based on some observations that I have, so I have a sense of where Prime Minister Modi is going to contest. Answering one of your questions, I think it is, I mean, people in Tamil Nadu and the political watchers might want Prime Minister to contest from Ramanathapuram for the simple reason that there is Kashi and Rameshwaram and contesting from Tamil Nadu will send a particular signal and so on. But politically it's far-fetched. Simply because the Ramanathapuram area is not very BJP friendly, let me put it that way. There is a substantial number of minorities, there are Christian missionaries and so on. So that needs some work before it has to become a normal BJP seat before you actually make somebody like Prime Minister whose domicile is not Tamil Nadu to contest from this place. Okay, so but there will be like, you know, all these kite flying and all these speculations, but they'll be good for entertainment. But as serious analysis, we should just like listen to it and have and smile at it.
What not I heard you say, lazy kite flying, and okay, hopefully I guess people are waking up, and maybe after you have done this, people will start speculating more, and hopefully they can at least put something on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing is, like, I'm just being flippant when I said people have become lazy, but it is true that number of people who have, if you look at, say, assembly elections or even before the elections before 2015, lot of people who used to throw out numbers, they would actually they'll come up with analysis of where a star candidate is going to contest and so on. Now they have become lesser and lesser because people don't want to be proven wrong. Okay, because the big two are doing their own
Bingo.
analysis. Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, so I don't claim credit to be smarter than them, but nevertheless, like we make an attempt to explain to people on based on what we see and read. So that's a very humble attempt.
Yeah, I guess people should do that. Nonetheless, I guess you can't get 100% right all the time. So I guess you should accept your failure and just keep doing it, and
Correct.
maybe just change your analysis style, or maybe
Yes.
the data, and see it works.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah, see, we should go by logic. We will present the facts. If people find it, yes, there's something wrong, like let them comment. We will keep improving. So I think that's the spirit with which we operate. Okay. So JK, like I would like to make a prediction that Prime Minister Modi is going to contest from Bihar this time. Where in Bihar is something I will say in the course of the time. But let's actually look at the overall picture now. Okay. So right now, BJP's main contention was in UP because UP sends 80 MPs, and the major focus of BJP was on those 80 seats, right? But what has happened over the last 9 years is we have had two Lok Sabha elections and two assembly elections in which BJP has performed spectacularly well. Okay, and there's a specific strategy in place, and they're executing it very well repeatedly, and it seems to have got the dividends. And the opposition is also withered away. I mean, it used to be a very strong opposition in SP and BSP. Now it is sort of withered away. So we are in a good position in UP. I'm not saying we have to be BJP has to be complacent, but the thing is, there is a set process and there is a set of systems. So right now, what the BJP central leadership is thinking is to expand the BJP into new areas where they have not done well. Okay.
So
So if
now,
you
are you suggesting that it's easy cakewalk for BJP in UP?
see, no, nothing is a cakewalk. They have to work for it. But the thing is, I don't foresee any surprises. They are going to win a substantial number of seats. I mean, at least 70 out of the 80. Okay. So see, anything about that is a very marginal game. Like there will be some low margin seats here and there, but it is going to be like it's almost a sweep for BJP. But they have to work for it. It's nothing is given. And see, one of the good things about the BJP right now is they never take anything for granted. They never take anything for granted. They work very, very hard. They've already started planning, and I hear that in Delhi they're already having these strategy meetings and everything. So that is there. But but the thing is, BJP also has to expand its footprints to other areas in which it's not very strong. So if you look at if you read newspapers, if you look at what other people are hearing, they say that the new territories are going to come from three main states, basically Telangana, Orissa, and West Bengal. Right? See, West Bengal, they performed quite well last time around. In Odisha, we have a very strong ally, but the BJP is also a growing party there. And Telangana is a place where we showed a lot of promise last time. So these three are supposed to be like the areas in which there could be a more additional number of seats that BJP would get. In fact, so very, very close political watchers would know that there is a BJP General Secretary called Sunil Bansal. So Sunil Bansal was the architect of the UP victories. So he is now the in charge or the deputy in charge for Telangana, Odisha, and West Bengal. So it says Telangana and Odisha alone. West Bengal we have another one. So at least two of the three, Bansal is the in charge, which means that the BJP is quite focused on reaping a large reward. Okay. So, but the thing is, these places are again sort of greenfield sort of places from which a lot of work needs to be done and a pedestal has to be built. When you look at India's geography with this lens, you will see that there is a part of Bihar, okay, which is actually has not been a BJP GUD for a long time. When you look at new geographies, Bihar is actually one of those geographies in which BJP has not done great in BJP alone. I'm saying not NDA. BJP alone has a lot of possibilities. They can do much better in one part of Bihar, which is the eastern part of Bihar. Okay, so that is, I think, that is where I think the biggest bang for the buck is going to be, and that's where I think Modi ji contesting would have a substantial amount of rewards, both for the party. So this is my theory.
I guess you selected one constituency in Bihar where you believe because there are a lot of work already going on, which many people might have missed, and you have noticed it, and you have noticed a number of times Home Minister himself traveled to ensure that some work happens there. Do you believe that is a place?
So I have a series of slides. If you can put it up there, like I will be able to explain. You asked me which particular constituency. I offer two constituencies. I have a number one first choice and a second choice. So I think that PM Modi is going to contest from either Madhubani or Araria. So both Madhubani and Araria are in the Mithila region of Bihar. Okay, so there's a separate region. We will actually go into this. I will actually explain why Madhubani or Araria or the Mithila region is very important. So
yeah, in fact, many people might not know the native language of Bihar is Maithili.
So yeah, there's Bhojpuri, there's Maithili, there is a lot of other local dialects spoken in Bihar. See, Home Minister Amit Shah last week was in Janjarpur. Okay, so Janjarpur, this is his 6th visit to Bihar in the last 1 year. So what has happened in the last 1 year is BJP was in alliance with JDU in the Bihar Assembly. There was an NDA alliance which has now broken, and BJP is now in the opposition, and JDU has aligned with the RJD. So right now, as for the last 1 year, this has been going on, and HM Amit Shah was in Janjarpur. Janjarpur is a separate constituency, but it is adjoining Madhubani. Okay, Madhubani is also a separate Lok Sabha constituency, but location-wise, it is nearby. He was there recently. There's a fun history also. It's a bit of a wicked joke also, in the sense that, see, Battle of Buxar. Okay, this happened in 1764. If you have all read in our history books, that there were two major battles that happened, which sort of signaled the decline of the Mughal Empire and the ascent of the British Empire. The first one was Battle of Plassey, and the second is Battle of Buxar. Okay, Battle of Plassey happened in 1757. Battle of Buxar is in 1764. Okay, Buxar actually is in Bihar. Okay, and there the Mughal coalition had three parties. Okay, one from Oudh, which is 𝗤𝙑𝙑. Then there was Mir Qasim, and then there is Shah Alam too, who was the Mughal emperor. So all of these people, so basically two local parties, one from Delhi, they combined together and got defeated, though they were numerically strong. Okay, so the joke here is that there's a party current, even now there are three parties. Okay, one party is from Delhi, which is Congress. The other two parties are local parties, RJD and JDU, and together they form this alliance, and they probably are going to lose. So that is the construct. So the thing is, as I mentioned, we should know where exactly Mithila region is. Okay. So if you can scroll up a bit, you will see that, like in Kongu Nadu and Tamil Nadu, if you ask where is Kongu Nadu, what is Kongu Nadu within Tamil Nadu, people will say different things, right? So some people will have say Dharmapuri included in Kongu Nadu, some people will say, oh no, Dharmapuri is not there. So Mithila region is also like that. Some people say some districts are there, some people say that is not there. Okay. So in the map that you see on the screen, you see that there are parts in yellow, there are parts in blue, and parts in red, which is on the eastern part of Bihar. This is what I will refer as Mithila in the sequence of this conversation. Okay. So obviously, see, if you start, it starts from Madhubani, which is on the top. Okay, and in the right there is Kishanganj, which is the extreme right. Is Kishanganj, and there is Jamui and Banki in the lower part. Okay, but the classic definition of Maithili, it also includes Madhepur and all these places. Okay, Vaishali and all, but we will not go into the nitty-gritties of it. We will look at these three regions in yellow, blue, and red. Okay, so this is what I will refer to as Maithili. So see, even within this map, right? If you look at the extreme right, the blue part, that is called Seemanchal. Okay, within Maithili there is called Seemanchal. So Seemanchal is one of the Seemanchal is the one in blue. It has 4 districts. Okay, basically 4 constituencies: Kishanganj, Araria, Purulia, and Katihar. Okay, so these regions are one of the poorest regions, not only in India, almost in the world also. Okay, very poor regions. And one of my choices, I said Madhubani and Araria, right? So Madhubani is one in the top, and Araria is actually in the blue region. Okay, next to Kishanganj. Okay, so Araria is also one of my choices. And the reasons are, I will elaborate it when we talk about BJP's new territory, new strategies. Bihar, eastern part of Bihar is not particularly discussed quite deeply by an analyst. Okay, and if you look at the Simanchal area, which is in blue, which I mentioned, it is actually highly Muslim dominated. Okay, so most of them are at least 40% Muslim population. In fact, Kishanganj, the easternmost part, it has been a Congress bastion. Okay, Congress almost has never lost from there, and it has 60% Muslims. Okay, and this is also one of those areas where there is highest infiltration from Bangladesh. So you will think how there is a infiltration from Bangladesh, because Bangladesh doesn't border with Bihar. So if you look at the map of India, West Bengal becomes very narrow on the top. So people pass through that region and come and settle down in these areas. Okay, so as I was mentioning, it is a Muslim majority area, and because of that, All India AIMIM, Asaduddin Owaisi's party, they have been making inroads. For example, they won 5 assembly constituencies in the last assembly elections. Now, one historical note also is that the Muslims in this area, they trace their ancestry to Yemen. Okay, so their ancestors had migrated all the way from Yemen. They were in Gujarat for some time, and then from Gujarat they are actually like relocated, and they fought for the Muslim ruler in this area. So very fascinating history. Like, we talk about globalization and stuff, and this sort of migration happened long time ago. Okay, so India is a melting point of cultures, right? So this has also happened. Okay, so let's look at the history. What has happened in the past? So in 2014 and 2019, BJP did so well in Bihar, okay, especially West Bihar. West Bihar has always been BJP's bastion, okay. So, for example, NDA won 31 out of 40 seats. There are 40 seats in Bihar totally. 31 out of 40 was won by NDA in 2014. At that time in India, JDU was not there, okay. It was BJP and some regional parties, the 𝗚𝗂𝘃𝗀 Kushwaha's party and Ramvilas Paswan's party. And so on, right? Who won the rest of the 9? 7 were won by UPA, okay, and all the 7 were in East Bihar, the region that we are talking about. And JDU fought alone and they won 2, okay. In 2019, India had both JDU and BJP, and they swept Bihar, okay. They won 39 out of 40. Only constituency won by the Congress was Kishanganj, which I mentioned before, okay. If you look at the map of this, the electoral map of this, all of the seats won by the NDA, JDU had won almost everything in East Bihar, and BJP had won almost everything in West Bihar, or BJP and its allies, other smaller parties. So even then, there's a substantial. So what I'm trying to say is, East Bihar is still that region where where opponents have won, but there's a huge possibility there. So that is the momentum I'm actually building. Okay. So now look at the polling numbers in terms of vote share. Okay. So the current group, if you look at the current group, the India Alliance, they were together actually in 2015. They fought the 2015 assembly elections together. During that time, they won 42% of the votes, while India polled only 35%. Okay. So by social structure, they have a definite advantage. Okay, so if BJP wants to capture this area, then they need some out of the box thinking. Okay, that is where Prime Minister Modi's contesting will be a big boost. Okay, so this is the political side of things. Let's quickly go into why developmentally it makes much more sense for PM to contest. Okay, so see, this Mithila, Simanchal, this area is one of the worst. It has the worst human development indices. Okay, it's one of the poorest regions, and this is the highest population growth for one of the reasons I have mentioned. In fact, the previous BJP state president, Mr. Sanjay Jaiswal, said that the population growth is higher than Ethiopia and higher than, he said some numbers like that. But it is quite a substantial population growth, mostly because of illegal migration from Bangladesh and the higher fertility there. Okay, this is the poverty map of India. Okay. And if you look at the red areas means that it is very high poverty. Okay. Obviously, you see that like the areas in Bihar that we are talking about, Simanchal, Mithila, are one of the worst. You also have like northern Jharkhand, and then like in the south you have the lower parts of Chhattisgarh and Orissa. We are the most belters. But if you look at it developmentally, it is the area that we are speaking about it's very poor. Okay, so if PM contests there, then there is actually a huge chance of high infrastructure development that will happen. Okay, one other interesting statistic, if you go to the previous one. Yeah, so this is a very interesting map, okay, because it says what is the percentage of world's population that is there in all of Indian states, not Indian population, world's population. Okay, so if you look at UP has 2.5% of world's population. Okay, think about that, let that sink in, because a substantial number of people are living in a state within India. See, this 2.5% in UP are now sort of set in a forward trajectory because of the governance policies of Yogi ji and Modi ji, the double engine sarkar, right? So I think UP has started on this upward trajectory, and Bihar, which has like 1.3% of population, unfortunately has not kickstarted that massive rapid development process. Okay, so hopefully there is a BJP sweep here during the elections, and that will pave way for a BJP victory in 2025 assembly elections. Okay, I'll also tell you like why PM contesting from here will trigger not only the 2024 elections but also 2025 assembly elections. While we go back, I also want to make an anecdote. See, one of the interesting conversations I have with cab drivers in Delhi, which seems to be like the par for the case, is that if you ask about Bihar to a UP cab driver, he will actually say that it's very hard for Bihar to develop. They have a sense of superiority. If you talk to a Bihar driver, they'll say that we want to be like UP.
Right.
Go ahead, JK. You
In,
wanted to
in
say
fact,
something?
I was just wondering, it is not just the leftists that those who speak to
Yeah.
cab drivers, we have right wingers as well who interact with them. Yeah,
Right.
continue.
Yeah, everybody has to speak with cab drivers. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Yeah, so this is one of those fascinating sociological things that has happened in India over the last few years, last 9 years, is that there's a separate class of Labhartis. Labhartis are the beneficiaries from various government programs. Okay, Jan Dhan Yojana, Mudra Yojana, gas cylinder scheme, Awas Yojana, so many. So a number of beneficiaries from government programs is quite high in these areas simply because they are poor, because they are targeted at poor, right? So these people have seen electricity come to their house. Now the water supplies, Har Nal Pe Jal, which is like the Jal
Jal
Shakti
Jeevan,
ministries,
Jal Jeevan Mission.
Jal
Yeah.
Jeevan Mission. So all of these are actually getting implemented at a very fast rate in this area. So you have these new class of people. They are not based on caste. This is a new class of people who are economically empowered. They are now saying that, okay, Modi ji has like brought us into the development fold. So this has become a very strong constituency for BJP, right? So this is also something that we need to keep in mind. Okay, see, in this area, one of the things that we need to keep in mind is geographically, it's a very disaster-prone region. Okay, we would have heard about news about the 𝗏𝗏 River. The 𝗏𝗏 River flows right through Mithila. The thing about 𝗏𝗏 is it changes its directions quite dramatically. Okay, it is not that it's a flooding. Okay, it will flow like this, and totally it will flow into the next district. Okay, it's a very disaster prone region. So any development will have to have this disaster resilience built into this. And also another interesting thing that has happened is that there is a national waterway that is flowing through Bihar, National Waterway 1, through the Ganga, which is now carrying goods from Varanasi to port in Calcutta. Right, so this passes through Bhagalpur and Karagola and all these places. So one of the reason why I mentioned this in particular is when you have this waterway, you get connected, your goods get connected to international markets, right? So that's why the states on the border, whichever sea, and hence ports do usually develop much faster because it's easy to transport goods. Now the National Waterway 1 has actually made it possible. So there's this factor also that is actually in play. Now we have seen that, see, why logically at a big picture level, why it makes sense for Prime Minister to contest from this area. Let's look at the more details of the political side of things. Okay, so one of the strategies that BJP has been following for all over India is to go after the the smaller OBCs. Okay, I'll explain how. Okay, so politics of the last 30 years, the Mandal politics means that OBCs have become a very dominant voice in India's politics. And the major regional parties have captured the biggest OBC chunks in many of these places. Okay, if you look at Samajwadi Party, they have captured the Yadav groups. Okay, so if you look at ADMK, they have captured the Gounder and the Mukalator groups. Okay, so on and so forth. So there are many same thing with Vokaligas, with JDS. Okay, so there are many examples of this. So what BJP successfully did in UP was to capture the OBCs that are not numerically very strong. So they have actually captured that, and they tried to replicate this in other parts of India as well. So here there is a tricky one. Okay, in Bihar, what has happened is there are two parties in the India alliance that have a strong OBC cadre. For example, RJD has Yadavs and JDU has Kurmis. Okay, so now if this is the case, they just cannot go after the other smaller parties. They will have to go after the other smaller parties, but they also have to capture people from these two big constituencies. They have to capture Yadav votes and Kurmi votes as well. Okay, so one of the things with the Yadav votes is that Yadav votes have, I mean, people think they still substantially vote for Lalu Prasad Yadav's RJD. But the Yadavs also have been slowly moving towards BJP because they are caught up in the development agenda. They also want to become prosperous and so on. In fact, I think one of the reasons why Modi ji or the government has released Lalu Prasad Yadav is to probably remind people that, see, this was your leader and you should not go, you should not actually follow him again. He had led you to ruin, right? So that is sort of the message, I think, political message he is trying to get. Okay, so I think BJP has to go after the Yadav votes. Okay, it's actually an important point to keep in mind. As I mentioned, like we need BJP has to go after more Yadavs, and so if you keep this strategy, there are two major constituencies that come into play. First is Madhubani, and second is Araria. As you remember, Madhubani is in the top yellow in the Mithila region. See, why Madhubani? Madhubani will be the first choice. Madhubani has a very different profile compared to the other constituencies nearby. Madhubani has 40% upper caste votes, the traditional voters of BJP, which is the Brahmins, Baniyas, and so on, right? And second is this is also the constituency from which the great 𝗖𝗄𝗿 Narayan Yadav, he won for so many years under so many parties. So his son Ashok Kumar Yadav is now the MP. So call that a traditional BJP seat. Okay, so you have a very strong BJP presence there. So also, see, Mithila region, not many people might know, is the place of cultural abundance. Unfortunately, because of poverty, like, you know, it has not come out yet, but it is a place where it's a place of great music. Okay, there are gharanas there. Okay, the Maithili language has a lot of scriptures. Okay, and Madhubani painting. This is a place where Madhubani paintings are made, the world famous Madhubani painting. So see, if Modi ji wins from here, there will be a cultural revival of sorts with these things. Okay. See, Modi and Shah have the cluster of seats approach. Okay, so they do not say, they actually select candidates based on the impact that they leave, not only in the constituency that they select, but also a cluster of constituencies around it. Okay, that's how, like, when you have numerically smaller castes supporting you, you get support from all these people, not only in the particular constituencies but from the supporting other outside constituencies also. Okay, so if you look at it, if you follow that strategy, then Modi ji's contesting from Madhubani will have a big impact on whole of this region. Okay, even in the neighboring Vaishali, okay, Muzaffarpur, even so on and so forth, right? So then let's see why Araria. Okay, Araria is the second choice. Araria is, like, you know, is next to Kishanganj. It's in the Simanchal area, and this is poorer than Madhubani. Okay, and this has a sitting BJP MP, but you cannot call this a BJP seat. Okay, it has actually it has alternated between BJP and RJD and so on, right? So this constituency has 30% extremely backward classes. Okay, and these people are the biggest beneficiaries from the Modi ji's central schemes. Okay, so if Modi ji contests from here, what will happen will be that there will be a consolidation of Hindu votes. As I told you, like, this area has around like 40 to 45% Muslim votes. There has to be a Hindu vote consolidation for any candidate to win from there. So which will perhaps happen if Modi ji contests there, and this will have a reverberating impact on the nearby seats as well. Okay, but because of this makes it a riskier seat compared to Madhubani. So that's why I say Madhubani is a more palatable seat. Okay, so now we have known why I'm saying Madhubani or Araria. So let's quickly go. Yeah, you have a question, JK?
And I was just saying, so when you say it's more like a safe seat, like why not for Raga?
No. See, the thing is, BJP doesn't fight like that. Okay, see, safe seats for BJP will be like Vidisha, okay, or like any places. No,
Yeah.
it has to be a politically significant seat. That's very important. So, for example, Varanasi was a very politically yeah, significant seat because of
Correct.
one because it's a cultural heartland. Second, also because it had impact on all of Purvanchal area of Uttar Pradesh, right?
Right.
So this is why I mentioned Madhubani or Araria. Let's quickly take a bigger picture at Bihar, the Bihar picture. See, the social coalition is like that. Okay, see, there are 16% of Muslims, 16% of Yadavs, and Koiris, who are also called Kushwahas, and Kurmis are approximately together 5% and 3%, totally 8%. Okay, so this 32 plus 8 is a very 40%, a very formidable number. So they have their biggest leaders are in the Indie coalition right now. Okay, and so Dalits have 15%. And upper caste are 25%. Okay, so there are parties that are actually catering to Dalits, like the Ramvilas Paswan's party. There are two parties now. One with his brother and other headed by his son. So there are two LJPs now. Okay, so now the bigger Bihar questions are: if Modi ji contests from Madhubani, will it trigger a Yadav exodus into BJP? Okay. So also we should know that like Nityanand Rai, who was the state president, now he's a MOS home. He's the biggest Yadav leader within BJP. So the question is, if Yadav votes come to BJP, will he become the biggest Yadav leader in Bihar? Okay, so that is something that we need to see. Also, one of the things is with Prime Minister Modi's campaign is that he never uses his caste card. Okay, so he never mentions his community or something, which is amazing given that like every other leader uses it for votes. But I was thinking in Bihar, perhaps that strategy might change. Maybe Modi ji will not himself do it. BJP party will actually try to do perhaps like play that OBC card. So another thing is within the Indie coalition. Okay, within the Indie coalition, Congress, RJD and JDU, their catchment area is this place. Okay, so there is going to be a major internal fight among them on like who will get what constituencies. Okay, there will be like a lot of people who will be angry that they have not been given seats. Okay, so that will actually be a interesting play on how politically that plays out. For example, if there are rebel constituents, will BJP side with them? Okay, so there are a lot of these sort of spoilers. And also, as I mentioned, AIMIM is actually like doing better and better. They are not in the India Alliance. Okay, they fight for the same vote that the Congress is fighting for. Okay, so then the another big question is, how are the Dalit parties, the Paswans, the Ravidas, Mushahars, all of these people, how will they actually work? How will they vote? Because the two parties, HAM, which is run by the ex-CM Jitan Ram Manji, and the LJPs, which I just mentioned, they are basically the Dalit parties, but they have also substantially voted for JDU in the past. Okay, a couple of things that I would like to mention is that, so there is this party called RLJD, okay, which is done by Upendra Kushwaha. He was actually part of the NDA. In fact, Upendra Kushwaha was Minister of State for Education in the first Modi term. Then he quit. Okay, then he merged his party with JDU. Now he is out of that JDU again. Now he's trying to side with BJP. Okay, so he is a member of the Kushwaha community. Also, the current BJP state president Samrat Chaudhary is also a Kushwaha. Okay, so Kushwahas and Kurmis, they are considered brothers. Okay, so it has to be seen whether these two can actually pull the Kurmi Koiri votes into the BJP fold. Remember that JDU president CM Nitish Kumar is a Kurmi. Okay, so he has a hold on this. Let's see. But Nitish Kumar is probably at the lowest point in his political career. People say that like this is perhaps his last big election and his party will disintegrate after this. Okay, he's fighting for survival basically. So how will all of this play out in the final frontier? Seema is also means frontier, right? So Simanchal, the fight for Simanchal, the fight for Mithila will be perhaps one of the most interesting fights of sub battles in the huge Manthan of 2024. And we will actually obviously keep watching it closely and provide you updates. But I hope the viewers actually take a closer look at it, because the mainstream media is not very smart to cover all of this. Okay, they will actually give a very bird's eye view of what is happening. They'll say this and that, and they don't go deeper into things. Okay, I hope this sort of analysis will trigger more thinking among people, and also I hope they read more and they comment on this, and hopefully, this will be a good education for everybody concerned.
Certainly, I guess it's a lot of information there to assimilate. I guess we need to, again, BADU for Bharat, BANU 4, right? Number 4, numeric
Yes.
4, and 𝗣𝗚𝗂𝘀 is his handle. You can go there, check almost some 23 tweets there, a series of tweets about why he chose Madhubani and Araria. You can just make your own predictions. You can just look into. I guess it's time for us, everybody who's politically inclined, to look into what possibilities can there be for PM Modi. I guess almost also for say Amit Shah ji, right? Anybody who is in in BJP party, even otherwise too. Just check what are the possibilities, where the seats they can contest from, and do comment below this, or even otherwise, even in Twitter, just tag us PGurus at PGurus, and let's work together. Let's have a political point of view of us and put it out there for public to see and see how it comes out. Thank you very much, Banu.
Thank you.